Love. It's a feeling we all see, the kind that makes your heart race and your thoughts spin. We often think the heart runs the show, but the real mastermind is our mind. Have you ever been in love? Or should I ask, have you ever feel like that same love was suffocating you? The same person you couldn't imagine living without? Why is it now impossible to live with them? What happens when love turns into obsession? When jealousy poisons trust? When care becomes control? When love turns darker, darker, and darker? Love can be beautiful, but it also has a shadow. In the beginning, it is often seen as a force of connection, trust, and care. But what happens when those emotions twist into something harmful? Obsession, jealousy, and controls are emotions that often masquerade as love, but they are far from it. Psychologists argue that these feelings are rooted in fear, insecurity, and sometimes even past trauma. But this isn't just about recognizing these traits in others. It's about understanding how they show up in ourselves too, and how can we identify and address them. Obsession in relationships often feels like love, but it's not about connection, it's about fixation. Instead of enjoying the company of their partner, an obsessed person constantly worries about losing them or monitors their every move. Take this example. Imagine you're dating someone who checks your phone constantly. Not because they are curious, but because they are afraid of what they might find. They call you multiple times when you're out with friends, demanding to know when you'll be back. At first, you might think it's because they care, but soon it feels overwhelming. Psychologists say obsession often stems from deep seated insecurity or trauma. It's not about loving the other person, it's about using the relationship as a crutch for emotional stability. If you find yourself or someone else becoming obsessed, it's important to recognize this as a sign of imbalance, not love. Jealousy. Who hasn't felt it? Also known as the green eyed monster. While some jealousy can be normal, it becomes toxic when it leads to distrust, paranoia, or accusations. Jealousy often stems from possessiveness. Think of that couple where you know one partner gets upset if the other glances at someone else. Or maybe you've been there yourself, comparing yourself to their exes, checking their social media for signs of betrayal, or feeling uneasy when they spend time with someone else. When we see our partner as ours rather than an individual, we fear losing control over them. But relationships built on trust shouldn't require control. If jealousy dominates your relationship, it's time to reflect on where that fear is coming from. While jealousy might start small, it can grow into an all consuming force that erodes trust. And without trust, love cannot survive. Control in relationships often hides behind care. It might sound like, I just don't want you to get hurt, or I know what's best for us. But the truth, it's about dominance, not care. Controlling behavior is often a way for one partner to message their own insecurity, fear. It's not about love, it's about dominance. Picture this: you are in a relationship where your partner decides what you wear, what you talk to, and even where you go. They say it's for your own good. Deep down, you feel like you are losing yourself. Healthy relationships require boundaries, not rules or restrictions. The line between concern and control is one every couple needs to recognize. So, why do people develop these dark traits in love? The answer often lies in the past. Maybe someone experienced abandonment as a child, or they grew up in a home where love was conditional. Society also plays a role, with media glorifying obsessive love as romantic. Think about all those movies where the hero fights for love, crossing every boundary, and we cheer for them. Toxic love doesn't just hurt the person on the receiving end, it affects both partners. The consequences of obsession, jealousy, and control are devastating. Trust erodes, resentment builds, and the relationship often ends in heartbreak for both parties. But the damage doesn't have to be permanent. By recognizing these behaviors early, we can begin to heal. So, how do we heal? Healing starts with self awareness. Ask yourself, am I being controlling? Do I let jealousy guide my actions? Or am I obsessing over my partner's every move? Therapy can be a powerful tool, not just for individuals, but for couples too. Communication, setting boundaries, and focusing on self growth can turn the tide. Remember, love should uplift, not suffocate. Real love is built on trust, respect, and freedom. Love is a powerful force, but when it becomes toxic, it's not love anymore, it's fear. If you've ever experienced obsession, jealousy, or control in a relationship, take a moment to reflect. Are you truly happy? So, what do you think? Have you ever experienced the dark side of love? Or do you recognize any of these traits in yourself or others? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories.